Welcome to The Sound, KQAL FM's weekly behind-the-scenes look at Midwestern-made music. From writing and recording to distribution and promotion, The Sound is your source for new releases and exclusive interviews from Midwestern artists. Support for The Sound is made possible by a grant from the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund. Rolling.
Tonight on The Sound, we get into the latest album from Minneapolis artist Humbird, titled Astrovan-The Love Vignettes. Humbird is a modern folk rock band serving up some rockin' tunes with an old sound. The band is made up of several talented artists, with Siri Undilin as the lead singer. They have released several albums spanning nearly a decade, and the hits keep coming with their latest release, Astrovan-The Love Vignettes. This album is full of 11 short songs all around the theme of love, giving a short but enjoyable listening experience full of heart. I'm Annika Bakkum-Ekern saying sit back, relax, and enjoy the sweet sounds of the soul as we listen to Astrovan-The Love Vignettes by Humbird tonight on The Sound.
If it weren't for you, I'd have frostbite. You keep me warm through the Northwood nights. You're radiating heat at alarming degrees. Next to you, the wind chill is a breeze.
And that was Radiator, the first track from the album Astrovan-The Love Vignettes, and that's the latest album by Humbird out of Minnesota. And tonight we have Siri Undilin, who is Humbird, on the phone with us. How are you today?
I'm doing really good.
Awesome.
Yeah, excited to chat with you.
Good. The album is great, and it's on my regular playlist. What was the inspiration for a vignette-style album? And this wasn't the first one you made as well, correct?
These vignettes, I did write them a long time ago, like 2019. Mm-hmm. So they were kind of smattered through time, I guess. And I started writing them once when I was feeling kind of writer's block, creative block. And now it's kind of a fun thing I do whenever I feel even a little bit of that, because it helps sort of unleash ideas. It's not too intimidating to just keep it short.
Getting those small little ideas without finishing them, I think, is every musician's dream, just to get that little melody in your head out, for sure.
Yeah.
How long have you been playing? How did you get started in music?
I've been performing as Humbird for like 8-ish or 9 years now, but before that I played in various different bands, collaborated with a lot of people. I went to Perpich Center for the Arts in Golden Valley, so that was a great place to meet a bunch of fellow songwriters and musicians and stuff. And I've loved doing it since I learned how to play guitar in like middle school.
That's awesome. So, where does the name Humbird come from?
Humbird is actually a small town in Wisconsin. It's like population 65 or something like that. But I was driving through that area on tour with a different band and trying to come up with a band name for my side project of just my own stuff. And I was like, Humbird seems like it would work good. So I kind of swiped it, to be honest. I need to go back to Humbird and pay my respects.
Hey, there's nothing wrong.
The name itself was like a good fit for the music I was making. So, yeah.
It is an incredibly cool name. Does it have anything to do with Humbird cheese, by chance?
I later learned there's like Humbird cheese, which is amazing. We stopped there on tour, and then there's Humbird diapers. There's like a spoon company. So yeah, I highly recommend bands Googling names before they dive fully in. But we're just running with it for now.
Hey, I think that's fine. Despite the things that it shares its name with, I do think that Humbird is a really cool name that definitely fits the vibe of your band. And are you guys just
thanks.
that three-piece?
We are on tour as a three-piece right now, and Humbird has at other points been just me. We've done a lot of duo tours. There was a period where there was 4 or 5 of us on stage sometimes. So it's fairly fluid, but it's most often a trio right now.
That's awesome. I got the privilege to see you guys at Midwest Music Fest, and I will tell you, it was a great experience and one of my favorite, if not my favorite, live performance of the weekend on that main stage too. Oh, it was... Shout out to your production team too. That lighting was fantastic.
Yeah, we were just talking about that set as a band, and our drummer Nate was saying it was like one of his favorite Humbird sets ever. So I'm glad you caught that one because it's a highlight for us too.
Awesome. Here's another track called Loons, followed by Rosemary from Humbird's latest album, Astrovan-The Love Vignettes, here on 89.5 KQAL.
Loons find their mate and pick a lake for all of their days. And I'm not one for promises, and I'm not one for guarantees. In the end, we'll all be dead, no matter what we did or said. But when I think of loons, I think of you. This morning I caught you talking to the rosemary plant like an old friend, a watering can in your left hand. And when you turn to opine to the cherry tomato vine, I saw your heart gave you mine. Is there anything more lovely or strange or funny or totally terrifying?
That was the song Loons, followed by Rosemary from Humbird's latest album, Astrovan-The Love Vignettes. What is this song about, and where did the inspiration for it come from?
Well, obviously the Minnesota State bird is a big inspiration for that song, but just the whole collection as a whole, I wanted to try to write love songs that were honest and true and real and hopefully not too annoying. So that was the goal with all of them. And I think that one, because it's so short and simple, it can move along pretty fast, and it can be about love and also just mortality. And I think those things are really powerful to put together.
Mm-hmm. Do your songs tend to be true stories, not only on this album, but on others? Or sometimes is it a little bit of fiction, a little bit of both, whatever you're feeling?
Well, I'm definitely inspired by events in my own life, but I'm also like just criminally exaggerating most of the time. So I think most songs are based in real life, but I don't worry too much about sticking to the facts for like a final product, because I feel like that's like the best part about art. You don't have to pretend like you're a news reporter or something. You can take some creative liberties.
Absolutely, like any good performer or storyteller. And you're from like the Twin Cities metro area generally, correct?
Yeah.
Would you say that growing up in Minnesota has influenced your writing style at all?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I think pretty much any song I've ever written references the natural world in some way. So yeah, the Minnesota, Midwest, Mississippi Valley landscape is like inextricable from the Humbird project for sure.
100%. We're going to dive into another song here. We're going to play Astrovan, followed by October, from Humbird's latest album, Astrovan, The Love Vignettes, here on 89.5 KQAL.
Let's take a ride in your Astrovan. It's been a hell of a day, but I think I can make you laugh along the way. We'll find a lonely road and take it all the way. Hands out, trying to grasp the wind, catch the autumn colors, take 'em with. Nothing lasts, and God, does it go quick? I'm on the edge of where October sits. How does a world of so much heartbreak also look like this? Go, go, go. The falcon overhead is not afraid to miss.
And that was the song Astrovan, followed by October, from Humbird's latest album, Astrovan, The Love Vignettes. Astrovan is my favorite song on this album, which is...
That's awesome.
It's incredibly fitting considering it's called Astrovan, The Love Vignettes.
For sure.
It's the one that I really wished was a full-length song, because boy, do I just scream that in my car. And this album has such a specific sound, and there's a lot of consistency through these tunes, despite the fact that each one is very different and separate. How do you go about writing? Like, do you start with melodies, words? Depends on the song. How do you start typically?
It definitely depends on the song. I think most of the vignettes started off as little poems, just kind of making little couplets and not trying too hard, and then putting them to melodies that felt like simple but satisfying. Yeah.
Totally. Do you often collaborate with people when you write, or for you, is it more of a singular process?
Most of my writing is solitary and singular, but I'm really lucky to have some musician friends that I trust a lot. And if I'm feeling stuck on a song or kind of just want like a harsh critical edit from someone I trust, there's definitely a handful of people that I bring a song to, and then they help me kind of finish it and make it the best that it can be, I think. And on this collection of songs is actually the first time I fully covered a friend of mine's song. So Strings Attached is on this album, and I didn't write that at all. It's my friend Shane Leonard's song, but when he realized that I had all these like really short love songs, he was like, oh, I actually have one of those too, and I've never known where to put it. So we threw it on the album as well.
Oh, wow. That's an awesome way to get a story. That is, yeah. I will also say what you mentioned about collaborating with other really talented musicians. I do need to commend you and your band for having such a full sound, despite having not that many people on stage.
Yeah, thank you. I'll pass that word along for sure. We try to make it as awesome as we can live, and yeah, the band is really good, so it's easy. 100%. Easy to make the songs strange and weird and full.
Oh yes. Oh yes. One of my favorite moments was watching you take over the synthesizer in that really ancient, wonderful song. Just all the elements layered on
Stretched
top.
on Your Grave.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah, that one is really special because it's different for us every night too. So I think all of us look forward to seeing how it'll unfold when we play it.
Totally, totally. On this record specifically, what is your favorite track?
Oh, good question. I feel like I like all of them for different reasons. I really loved writing Letter to My Future Self. We actually haven't been performing that lately, but it was kind of fun to think about, having a conversation with your past self and your future self, and like to try to fit all these emotions and how time passes into like 40 seconds. So that was a great challenge, and I really liked how it turned out.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one.
That's a great one, and now you'll have to put it on the set list. So
yeah, it's true.
What would you say is your favorite track that you have ever made?
Oh, I don't know if I could answer that. I feel like my favorite part about writing songs is you like write them in one era and it means one thing to you, and then you oftentimes play them for years, but life changes around you, and sometimes songs, the words don't change, but their meaning rearranges for you, and it feels like it's about something else. So I think I'm more just always amazed at what songs still resonate with me years later, even if they mean something different. I know that's kind of a non-answer, but I think that's the coolest part.
That's beyond fine. You have quite the discography at this point. Picking one is not the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have one song that you like playing live more than others?
Ooh, yeah. I mean, you mentioned the Irish song that we've been performing for the last year called I'm Stretched on Your Grave. That's often a highlight for me. We also often perform a song called Ghost on the Porch, which is just some fast guitar parts, and I think a cool arrangement that the band has. So I always look forward to that too.
Absolutely. We're going to play another song from the album. We're going to play two of them. The first one is Stranger, and the second one is going to be Letter to My Future Self, which you were talking about from Humbird's latest album, Astrovan-The Love Vignettes, here on 89.5 KQAL.
To the one that I let walk away, I wanted to ask you for your name. In the moment, though, I was afraid to break the spell the silence made. You walk into the winter storm, a mystery out in the cold. It's warm in here, the windows freeze. Snow falls into the steps you leave. You are, you are, you are, you are a stranger. In the early afternoon, there was a strange wind blowing through, and when I turned around, I caught sight of my future self, wrinkled up and gray, with nothing more to say, just a smile and a dancing light in those clear eyes. The future holds a secret in her weathered hands. She left as soon as she arrived, and I know I'll see her again.
That was the song Stranger, followed by Letter to My Future Self from Humbird's latest album, Astrovan-The Love Vignettes. How do you record Do you play your songs live or do you track it out piece by piece? And where did you record this album?
Yeah, these were recorded at Hive Studios in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. That's Brian Joseph's studio. He engineered the session, and then Shane Leonard produced it. And most of this collection was just the three of us in a room. We did some live tracking, but also just some, one by one, kind of overdubbing ourselves and giving ourselves lots of options. But we were also working on it during the pandemic, so we sent it off to Pat Keen and Adeline Stry, who were frequent collaborators but weren't actually in the studio with us, and they were able to record some really cool bass and woodwind parts respectively, and that really filled out the album. So it was kind of a weird Frankenstein process, but it did come together eventually, and we put it out.
100%. You said that you were recording this during the pandemic. Did that slow down your process at all?
For sure. Yeah, we recorded most of the album, or got maybe 80 or 90% of the way done with it in December 2019. And then, I think probably spring and summer of 2020, I would go over to Shane's house, wear a mask except for when we were recording, and then sending it to our friends to finish things up. So it's definitely not how we anticipated finalizing the album, but I also think in that time there was a lot of clarity of wanting to see things through, because who knew what the next week was going to entail. It was such an uncertain time. So I think in some ways it sort of helped us focus and be okay, how do we need to finish this? Because we're so close. Let's take it to the end. So I think the pandemic, it maybe slowed it down, but it also could have sped it up. I'm not totally sure.
That's true. I'm glad that despite the slower process, it got made.
Me too.
Have you found that in the recording process that some songs that you write evolve or change?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I think especially when you're working with people you trust and they have little ideas of what if this chord happened instead here, or maybe you should do a double chorus there. And I often don't really go into the studio with a plan. I'll go into the studio with more of a hopeful vibe.
Yes.
Some kind of aesthetic and album references that I'm thinking about these. We don't have to copy this other artist or this other idea, but I really like this and I think we could be inspired by it. But I think the studio is a really sacred time, and it's fun to see what happens just with everyone in the room, and it's always a really good surprise, at least for me.
Totally. When you're on the road, do you find yourself being more inspired to write, especially when you're performing so often?
I don't.
I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah. I feel like in theory, being on the road and touring should be really inspiring, and you get all these ideas, but everything generally is happening so nonstop that there isn't too much time for reflection and sitting down and writing. There sometimes is, but I find my writing more often happens when I get home. I'll kind of I'll take some time in the first few days back home to write a lot and just try to remember the stuff that really sticks out, or people I maybe met, or places that were really interesting. Those often rarely become songs right away, but I like to think of adding them to the compost pile that songs come out of later. But usually when you come home from tour, you're also pretty tired, so the last thing you want to do is write another album or something like that. I'm usually just trying to eat healthy and do my laundry and stuff.
Totally. I hear that road life, though I have not experienced it, is quite exhausting.
Totally.
That goes with my next question very well. What do you fill your time with when you're not recording or touring?
Yeah, good question. I love that question. No one ever asked me that. I feel like having like life stuff going on outside of music is really important, at least for me, for balance. So I am most often working a side job, hopefully one that I like. Right now I'm working at a bookstore, and it's awesome. Yeah. I love to garden. I love to forage. And yeah, I spend a lot of time with family. I'm lucky to live in a place where family is close by. So yeah, those are some things that keep me balanced and fill up the time when not on the road.
Oh, yeah. Family time is incredibly important. I live in a small town. I understand that feeling of having community around.
Yeah.
It's absolutely a blessing. Here's another track called Strings Attached, followed by Easy from Humbird's latest album, Astrovan-The, Love Vignettes, here on 89.5 KQAL.
Strings attached, steering us, no doubting that. Strings attached. Trailhead, empty avenue in the afternoon. I will walk with you. We can share all our strings attached. If I could say it, if I could say it, I would. But sometimes words, they don't do. Any good. If I could show you, if I could show you, what if it disappoints you? There's a glow beneath the bedroom door, shining through. In the kitchen, in the kitchen, dinner is waiting on the stove top. The lights are off, but the moon is on.
That was the song Strings Attached, followed by Easy from Humbird's latest album, Astrovan-The, Love Vignettes. What artists have you been inspired by recently?
Good question. I've been really inspired by a band called Lankum. They're an Irish band, and they play all like traditional acoustic instruments, but there's like this doom folk quality to their music, and I just love the way that they are presenting folk music. It feels really fresh and intense to me, and I think it fits the moment. And yeah, I'm trying to think of what else I've been listening to a lot of.
Totally.
At the bookstore where I work, we only have a turntable or like a record player. We don't have like a radio thing. So there's this solo Thelonious Monk album that I just will play like 10 times in a row when I'm working a shift. I think it's called Alone in San Francisco. That might be the wrong title, but that is the idea. A recording from a performance solo in the Bay Area, and it's incredible to just sink into those recordings and hear the choices. And yeah, I think the books like that album a lot as well. So I put it on for them and me.
I like the idea that the books listen to the music the same way plants sometimes listen to music. So
I really think that everything is listening.
Yes.
It's good to remember that. Take that into consideration.
It is. Do you think, especially that Irish folk album, do you think that has had an influence on your sound lately as you tour?
I think I don't know if it's influenced us in a huge way, but it does feel like resonant and inspiring, if that makes sense. I think part of why I like it is because, part of why I like what Lankum is doing is because I feel like that's the power of folk music. So, yeah, I think hopefully part of the same trajectory as what they're doing.
Totally.
But just in our own way, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of touring, what's on the horizon next for you? What are you planning on doing once you get home and aren't busy 24/7?
Well, we're working on new music as always, so that's really fun. And we do still have some tour dates this summer, some cool festivals around the country. So I think we'll be busy, but not too busy, which is a great place to be in.
A little bit of balance, sounds like.
Yeah, exactly.
Good stuff. Your tunes can be heard on all major streaming platforms and such. Where can people find out about your show dates, where you'll be performing this summer, and future releases, merchandise, all that good stuff?
Yeah, it's all at humbirdmusic.com. Tour dates are there, and other ways to stay in touch if you feel like it, like Patreon or Bandcamp. And yeah, I try to make it as easy as I can for people to find out where we're going to be.
Fantastic. Well, Siri, thank you so much for talking to me today. I've got one more wonderful question for you.
Yeah.
The last tune today is called Forgiveness. Is there a reason you chose for this song to be a cappella and for it to end the album?
Yeah, that song is a cappella because that's how I wrote it, and I just think a cappella, just a solo voice singing, is a really like vulnerable and powerful thing. It's often my favorite way to hear songs, so I also like to write in that style. So yeah, Forgiveness is written like that, and because the album is really a meditation on love and the different ways that it looks, I just think that forgiveness is a huge part of love. Like, I'm not perfect, no one else is either, and I just wanted to end the album on that note because I think that the two things together are really at its most human, like how we can move through the world. So felt like the right note to end the album on.
Absolutely. As you said, forgiveness is a huge part of love, so it does make it feel like a full circle of a Love Vignette album.
Yeah, exactly. That was the hope.
Awesome. We're going to play 2 tracks. First, we're going to play Person and follow that up with Forgiveness from Humbird's latest album, Astrovan-The Love Vignettes, here on 89.5 KQAL.
Spring will come again. browns and blues. Inside a broken heart is a hidden clue. When there's a hurt, you know we both lose. Love of mine, I forgive you. Love of mine, I forgive you.
Thanks again to Siri Undilin of Humbird for joining us tonight on The Sound. To hear more from Humbird, look them up on Bandcamp or your favorite streaming platforms. For more deep dives into local and regional albums, tune into The Sound every Wednesday night at 6, right here on 89.5 KQAL. You can also listen to past episodes of The Sound with extended interviews and exclusive content on your favorite streaming services. Find links at kqal.org. I'm Annika Bakkum-Ekern, and we've just heard from Humbird on The Sound.
Thanks for listening to The Sound. The Sound is produced by KQAL-FM on the campus of Winona State University. Visit us online at kqal.org. Theme music for The Sound provided by Mike Terrell of Fires of Denmark.